Okay, everyone. Little bit of an update on this guy, the TurboFire TFMSX. What can I say about this guy? I've been kind of on off looking at this thing for about a year, I think now, maybe a wee bit over a year. This is the second version of the prototype. The idea being that you got a USB and all the original chips. So you've got an original this is a VDP 9958. This is a Zilog Z80. You know what you've come to expect from me in terms of all the logic and stuff, and a PSG out of it's Yamaha. Insert the word there. It's a Yamaha I've been using for this because. And because I can get these more readily than the AYs, I could go back to the AY with this. It's not really that big a deal. I just had a pile of them at home and thought I'd use them up. And we've got an ARM STM32 here. That's a USB controller, ARM STM32, and just standard joysticks and stuff. And what's happening here is I am... you won't recognize the setup, but I am away from home on a training course, learning to teach people to fly, and I've been working all day. I don't have a child to look after. I don't have a house to do housework on. I don't have 5 or 6 cabs that need work, and I don't have a bunch of terrible fire cards. The only thing I could actually fit in my suitcase with me when I came here was open source scan converter, a monitor which I'm going to need for working from home while I'm away, and this and the TFMSX. And I didn't even bring anything more complicated than the this is the FTDI cable. Yeah, getting quite expensive now, but I just grabbed that and I thought, well, you know what, I'll just take all of this stuff with me, and a USB keyboard here. So I thought I would just take all of this stuff with me and have a crack at this while I was away. So one of the limitations is I have a Mac laptop, and the Xilinx toolchain doesn't work on it. So one of the things I did was I got QEMU set up here the other day, yesterday I think. That was my Sunday. That was a fun day. And the TFMSX source code is all there. I can compile it. I can edit it with my standard Visual Studio Code, compile it with QEMU, and then I can flash it using that what is it called? It's the XCS prog, whatever it's called. And let me just find the power supply. We've got the best game ever made for an MSX, in my opinion, anyway, in there, and I'll just turn it on. Hopefully nothing will go on fire. Don't worry though, because the owners of the Airbnb where I'm staying have kindly provided a fire extinguisher right here, just in case. So here we go. We've got Nightmare. I did notice an issue with sound on the board. I think that transistor is a PNP when it was supposed to be an NPN. We're not getting any. If I short that cap there off, I get sound, but I can't do that with one hand while holding the phone. So so the keyboard. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, okay. So it's the keyboard, and we can get our keys working, I believe. Yeah, and I can play the game with the keys. What a game. I would just play this now for quite a long time. So I had a couple of issues. I'll talk about those in a second. First of all was that Arek had done Arek from the Scottish Amiga group had done a fantastic firmware about 6 months ago, and I haven't had time to look at it. And he was visiting me on Sunday because not Sunday there, but Sunday, a week Sunday, back Sunday, he was visiting me because one of the other Scottish Amiga lads had left him a couple of MacBook, big old G4 MacBooks or G5 MacBooks, the really heavy ones, and he came around to collect them, and we had a chat about this, and it kind of dawned on me that I should probably really do something, because Arek had put a good bit of effort into getting this USB firmware to work, and so yeah, I debugged that a wee bit, and I found what the issue was. It was pretty simple to sort out in the end. It all came together in the end, as a man once said. Anyway, so yeah, so I sorted that out. That was a tiny little bit inversion bug on the one of the ports here. I just had to flip the bits over, and that worked fine. I found another bug with Gradius, which was causing graphics corruption. I'll just flip this one in. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you the keyboard working before we put another one in. Let's see if this comes up. No, didn't like that. What's going on? There we go. Good old MSX. 10 print. And it kind of works. It kind of works. There is a couple of remaining issues. I don't think that power connector is very good. So let me stick in Gradius. There we go. There you go. Where did the power connector go? Come here, you little furry little. Anyway, so we get the lovely Konami logo. Lovely Konami logo. We get this. This was all corrupted graphics before, and this was completely corrupted, but it was a very predictably corrupted pattern. And what I realized was, if I look at the code in here, I found that these guys, external slot select 1 and external slot select 2, I think that's what they are, and those two didn't have these MREC terms on them, and that meant that while IO writes to the VDP were going on, if the upper bytes matched that, it meant that I think the Nemesis ROM was reading at the same time as I was trying to write to the VDP, and so the data bus was getting, you know, the two things were trying to talk on the bus at the same time, and that didn't work. The last remaining issue I've got now is the last big issue anyway that I know is the joystick port seems to have some issue with it. If I put a joystick in here, let me just put a joystick in here, it's just completely, it goes completely to the left without pressing anything. It's not the controller, because the controller definitely does work. I could maybe demo this is a bit more effectively with Nightmare. Let me have a crack at this, putting Nightmare in here. Plug you back in. And instantly, it kind of, yeah, doesn't really work very well, and the character will just head off to the left straight away. But I can fire, or I used to be able to fire. Yeah, I can fire, but I can't move. So I've got something weird going on with there's some weirdness going on with the joystick port. I need to review that, but why that's not working. Oh yeah, it's like going down and left by default for some reason that I cannot figure out. But yeah, so I'll need to review why that's happening. It could be that that I followed a specification document and then that document is wrong. But if I take the keyboard, if I take the thing, the joystick out, it's all working. So I'm experimenting here. I'm not, I'm not expecting perfection. Half of the reason to do this was just to get a lot of experience and learn a new platform, because I'm been mostly an Amiga guy with an occasional bit of Atari and a Spectrum thing in the past, and I just really wanted to learn a new platform and get a bit more experience with it. So that's what I was doing. So it might be that there's some weird glitch. I mean, there probably will be some weird glitch, but the overall idea with this board is that it will be, basically an MSX clone. Though most of the glue logic has been reduced into between this and this. I don't think anybody's that precious about the keyboard on an MSX. They're all different, right? What's the core of an MSX? The VDP, the Z80, and the synth. So those guys are the original chips. A ROM. There's plenty of room for configuring the RAM. I think there's a megabyte of RAM here, and up to 128. I think it's up to 128 K of VRAM is available here. It's not mapped into memory. It's just as is. So in theory, it could be an MSX2. Could it be an MSX2 Plus? That's a VDP 9958, and it will run with a 9938. It'll work with either of those two, so that's absolutely fine. And the for reasons that people will probably hate me for, I've used the CPC 6128 Plus SCART pinout, and the reason for that is because it was the cheapest one I could find. I scoured the internets. I looked for all of the SCART cables, and the cheapest one I could find was the CPC 6128. It was like £10, so I thought, well, we'll go with the cheapest one we can get for the SCART connector. The only thing I'm actually considering as an extra at this point is maybe a headphone jack here. That would be useful, and I might collapse this into just. I'm not sure if we do need a double. If we need dual USB. We'll have a chat with Arek, but we could cost reduce that down to a single USB. We'll fix the joystick ports, and there is a second slot on the MSX there, but I haven't populated because there's no need for it at the moment. And then it would be nice if someone could maybe 3D print a case or something, or somebody with some more knowledge than me on such matters. That would be fantastic. But yeah, it's kind of getting there. I think my next goal will be to get the MSX2 ROMs up and running. We're on MSX1 ROMs at the moment, but we get MSX2 ROMs running, make the most of the RAM that's here, and just check things like the SCC carts work and all the mappers that are coming. Some of the carts work. That would be fantastic. But yeah, that's where we're at with it. Probably will open source this completely at some point. I've not really got any interest in building these, but if you're one of the usual crowd and you want to build it, let me know. I'll have a think about how we want to go about this. But it was just really an exercise in. I just wanted to try and do a cost-reduced MSX that you can take in a suitcase with you, and I kind of did. I kind of took it in a suitcase with it. I've got the dev environment and everything for it here. But yeah. Anyway, that is all I've got for today. And probably might be for a while on the MSX. Maybe it won't be. I don't know. It just depends on how much time I get. But I managed to rattle through the bugs that I had. The only one I have no idea what I'm doing with is that joystick. So if you know what the joystick issue is, leave it in the description. Leave a comment down below. I think I have common word pin 8, which might be the problem. I don't know. Or it might be that this the GPIO in this Yamaha is a bit knackered. But yeah, I love the display. It's really nice, and the OS. This is the first time I've used my open source scan converter. So yeah, I normally use CRTs. So yeah, thanks for watching. That's all, and hope to catch you in the next one. Have a good one.